So, welcome Spartans to our first edition of the new event preview recording, podcast, video, whatever you want to call it, right? So, we figured we'd kick it off in high style and in big fashion and talk with Adam Wallenfels, who is one of our event directors, and will be event directing the Trifecta World Championships coming up in a couple weeks in Beckley, West Virginia. Adam, welcome.
Yeah, happy to be here. A lot of work and a lot of time's gone into this. I know we're ready to see it all come together.
Yeah, I can vouch for the amount of time and effort that goes into planning any event. And then when you add the fact that it's Trifecta World Championship, it just takes it up to another level because there's so many more things in there that you have to account for, you know, whether it's international travel and international participants. You just get a bunch more of those people coming in for events of this caliber. So we're excited to get it going. First, I want to make sure we identify the fact that this event is presented by GovX and hosted by the West Virginia Department of Tourism, which is awesome that we've gotten everybody involved that we can potentially get involved here at a venue that we've been to before, right? So we're, you know, again, we've been to this venue in West Virginia for quite a few years now. So you want to take a couple seconds and just kind of share some thoughts and some things about you before we get into the actual event. Let everybody know a little bit about where you've been and what you've done.
Yeah, absolutely. Now going on my second season as an event director with Spartan. This year, I've been fortunate enough to be the event director for the East Coast team. So pretty much up and down from in Boca all the way to Jersey. So if you've been to those events, you've probably seen me around. And I'm stalling. This is weird now that the camera's on.
That's good. Now listen, like again, you came into Spartan a couple years ago, right? And you actually came in as a core support person for me in Fayetteville with I think with Caleb Rounds, right? And it really just kind of took off from there, right? It was an immediate attraction, and like you enjoyed it. At least you've been around running for a long time, so running and things like that's nothing new to you. So I felt it was pretty natural fit, and we've just kind of progressively gotten you up through the ranks to event director, and you've done a great job with that. It's some of our hardest venues as well, right? You said New Jersey. That's one of those, man. It's event directors that know they steer clear of those things, right? So let's get back to West Virginia, right? So tell me quickly what excites you most about this year's Trifecta World Championship?
Yeah, for anyone who hasn't been to this property, it's impressive. I think is the word for it. It's 10,000 acres of just, you know, anything you could possibly think of. So it really just gives us, you know, tons of options and freedom to really go crazy with it. And I think it's, you know, really the perfect spot to host an event like this, just with everything that's available at that property.
Yeah. So if you had to sum up the venue in one word, right, what would it be?
Oh, it would easily be impressive. Just from the land to the staff that's there and, you know, what they already have built out and what they offer. I mean, even just their own road system that they've built out there is just incredible. You know, massive 5G cell phone towers. So everyone should have great service the whole weekend.
Yeah. Which brings me to the next question, right? That I was going to ask is like every Spartan venue is unique, right? They all have their own little nuances and their own unique terrain and their own unique features. And so again, what makes Summit Bechtel Reserve unique, you said it, right, is just the expansive terrain, the amount of acreage that it covers, again, all of those things, right? And the other thing I want to call out is, like, for people that didn't know, I think it's the largest scout reservation in the United States, right? I mean, they host scouting events that are just
the annual Boy Scout Jamboree is held there, and I think they can house 50,000 Boy Scouts at a time.
Okay. All right. So definitely something to keep in mind as people get there, right? To really kind of keep in perspective how big it is. So let's talk a little bit about terrain. What's the terrain like at the venue?
Yeah. I know last year, you know, when we went into the course design, the elevation was pretty crazy. So we dialed it back just a little bit, wanted a little bit more mix of, you know, climbing, and then there's going to be some really fast sections as well.
Gotcha.
Really try to dial into more of the race vibe. And then even around festival, there's going to be just a lot going on with our builds and partners there. So I think it's going to be really great just for even watching the event from a spectator point of view as well.
Yeah. So keeping on the terrain theme, right? We'll share the map here in a couple seconds, but just keeping on the terrain theme, without giving up too much, right? Because again, like I think the biggest thing is we want some of this or as much of this as possible to really kind of be a surprise to people as they go, right? Because there's going to definitely be something. As many years as we've been here, there's going to be some things that racers that are coming back are going to do or see that they haven't done or seen before, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is there anything you can share with the group that may see this in advance without giving too much away? Maybe something special, something unique to really kind of be expecting or get excited about?
Yeah, without giving away too much. And I guess for those who aren't familiar with TWC, the obstacles are not actually released until the day before the event at the athlete briefing. So that's when everybody will get the full rundown. So we've been keeping that one locked up pretty tight. Yeah, I guess outside of all of our standard events, there's going to be a lot higher obstacle counts per distance for the Sprint Super and Beast. So you're just going to see a lot more that you got to go through to complete the route. Yeah, I think coming out of Friday, there's going to be a lot of buzz on the sprint. About halfway through, you guys are going to see something that I don't think has been done before.
Okay.
Yeah, I did post a photo in one of the Facebook groups about a month ago, kind of hinting at what we're going to be doing. But yeah, don't really want to give away too much.
Yeah, no, understood. Yeah, let it be a surprise, right? And again, for some people it'll be exciting. For some people, I'm sure it'll kind of kick the nerves up a little bit because again, not knowing what to expect. One thing, some of our events as we go into these venues back-to-back years or multiple years, then it obviously becomes kind of predictable. But just knowing what I've known about this venue over the past years and now what I've seen you guys have put together for this event, not very predictable by any stretch, right?
Yeah,
I mean, obviously
I guess
you'll know some of the terrain, but that's about it.
Just a heads up, I guess we are going to have some different style penalty loops. They're not all going to be just distance. There's going to be some actual real punishment to it. So better not fail.
All right. So do you think, is there a section of the course or is there something unique that you think that once they find out, that's just going to be kind of the buzz of the weekend? It's going to kind of take social media by storm. And again, by that point, people that didn't make the trip are going to be going, man, I wish I would have went now.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's about halfway through the sprint. So, and you can't see it from festival, so you won't know it until you actually get there. And it's not easily identifiable on the map.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Cause that's the one thing. So like I'll pop the map up, right. And know that, the one thing I've seen, people talking about, I was listening to, as we talked about before we started, I was listening to, Scott Knowles' podcast, and they were talking about the event day program being released and things. And then there was a little brief discussion about the maps that came out that was released on social media. And I think the one buzz about the map that everybody's already talking about is it's not a traditional map release that we've done for every other event, right? It's got the course route, it's got all your little festival labeling in it. But what it doesn't have is it doesn't have an obstacle list. Yep. Right. And because we're going to wait and release that on Friday prior to race or the event starting, it's going to keep all of that stuff kind of top secret. So, they can see where the location of the obstacles are on course, but and the number, they just don't see what the number corresponds to.
So actually Thursday at the opening ceremonies is when we release the map for Friday sprint. And then Friday's athlete briefing is the super release. And then Saturday's athlete briefing is the beast release. So you're going to get little pieces at a time. Yeah, but I think the buzz is going to be around obstacle 8 and 9 on the sprint.
Okay, good to know. Keep an eye out for the social media postings on that, right? I can't wait to hear it. I've obviously I know what it is, but yeah, I'm with you. We're going to keep that secret till the last minute.
Yeah, and we will have cameras, so nobody's getting away.
Nobody's getting away for sure. All right, let's talk a little bit about course details, right? So the other thing that's unique about this event, right, is we're not doing the race day typical race day versus distance order that we would
Mhm.
normally do, right? So what's different about this weekend?
Yeah, so usually the longer of our distance is on a Saturday, but this is the I think it's actually the first 3-day event weekend in the US. So we're kind of going in reverse order. So Friday sprint, Super Saturday, and then Beast on Sunday. And the Beast is actually, I really like the way it's being done. So we're going to take your time from the sprint and the Super and add it up, and then it's going to be a staggered start at the start line for the Beast. So
Nice.
if first place is 20 seconds ahead of second, they get a 20-second head start. So we know whoever finishes first on Sunday is truly the winner because of that staggered start.
Yeah. Awesome. So again, just something that a little different than what we typically see at events in the States, and for an event of this caliber. I think that's the way they've done this event when they were doing it, in Greece itself. So let's talk a little bit about the sprint, because that's first on Friday, right? So that starts midday on Friday. What can people expect as far as distance and elevation and whatnot?
Yeah. We are going to be a little long on some of the distances here. Sprint's going to be around 3.2, 3.3, just over 700 feet of gain and 22 obstacles. And there is going to be there is sprint heats on Saturday as well. So it'll be exactly the same for anybody in those open heats. The Super Saturday, 6.2, 6.3 miles, right around 1,100 feet of gain and 29 obstacles. That's normally about what we see for a standard Beast, 29, 30-ish obstacles. So there's going to be a lot to complete. And then the Beast, we're 13.4 miles, about 2,600 feet of gain and 37 obstacles.
Nice.
So yeah, so quite a few extra for each distance.
For sure.
And then we can't forget about our trail as well. Sunday, we're running a 10K trail and a half marathon trail. The route is almost identical to last year. Only real changes are around that start and finish through festival. But it's a really cool route. You get to see a lot of the property.
It has some respectable gain for each distance, right? That 10K being over 1,400 feet and that half marathon being over 2,000 feet. That's a challenging. That's not for a lack of a better term, it's not a walk in the park.
Yeah.
A walk at the reserve, right?
And most of it comes from just one massive climb on the front half of the distance. So
they get that out early.
Smoke the legs for the back end.
Right. That's all right. I'd rather get it done early than struggle later in trying to get that thing done. Right. So again, and then kids course, right? I mean, we got all the distances for our kids event there. And I think that's the other thing is, I think there's going to be a pretty exciting and electric feel around the festival area too. And so again, think everybody's going to be pretty excited. I think the point I want to make is there's just going to be a lot to see, right? For people coming in to spectate, they will have some access to see a lot of things in a very active festival area, right?
Absolutely. We should have about 7 or 8 pretty big builds, easily accessible from festival. And, you'll see a lot of them coming in just even from parking. So going to be a lot to watch, a lot of competition, some good penalty loops. And we've got a pretty solid list of sponsors and partners coming in as well. So pretty excited to see it all come together.
Yeah, it certainly makes for just a great atmosphere. Aside from the normal rope climbs and monkey bars and multi-rigs and Atlas carry, any hints on just maybe one unique obstacle they can expect to see, for first-time racers, something that they haven't seen before?
Oh, I guess. Do we want to give it away? I don't know.
You don't have to.
Yeah. I will say we do have a brand new build. First time we're doing it, first time we're putting together, and it is in festival.
Okay. All right.
So that's gonna be a good one to get the camera out and
nice.
Watch everyone come through.
Yeah. All right. We'll leave it at that. I won't press you for more information on obstacles, considering we haven't posted that list yet, and we'll keep those surprises for Friday.
Yeah, we've done our best this far to keep them quiet. I can't bust it out now.
Can't ruin it now, right? All right. So let's talk about racer logistics, racer planning, things they can do to come in prepared. For people planning their weekend here, right? Obviously, it's a pretty remote venue, right? There's not a lot that's close to it. And we have all of the opening ceremonies are happening where?
They're happening in Charleston on Thursday.
Charleston on Thursday.
Yeah, and just huge shout out to the team in Charleston. They've been incredibly helpful putting that together, and they've done a lot for us. And I think it's going to be quite the show we've got planned.
Sure. What can people expect to see in Charleston on Thursday, or what can they expect to happen in Charleston on Thursday?
Yeah. So we'll have food trucks there. We'll have a mini registration for early packet pickup. We'll have a mini merch tent. We're going to have a parade of nations. So anyone that's coming in from a different country, it's really up to them if they want to be there. But pretty much anybody that shows up that is racing from a different country, they're eligible to walk in our nation's parade. So it's really, really cool. And then there is going to be a live concert. And it's in a big amphitheater right on the river. So great views.
So one thing you said, and let's jump back and touch on it, because that'll be the one thing that gets the most questions or posts when this gets released. Mm-hmm. You said there will be a registration set up for packet pickup, right? And I know the first question that someone's going to ask is, do I have to pick up my packet there?
No, you do not have to. It is highly encouraged. We will have pretty short windows on site to pick it up, but would definitely highly encourage you to pick it up Thursday if possible, and experience the opening ceremonies. It's not every day we're doing something like this at one of our events.
Yeah, I mean, so again, let's talk about that for a second. This is an event, right? This is truly an event, and I think I have not been to Greece, to Sparta when we were there with this event in years past, but having seen enough videos and obviously from the inside, knowing what that is like and knowing that feel and that energy that comes with that, right? It's an amazing way to kick off the weekend, right? You get in there with the Parade of Nations and everybody's got the flags and all that stuff going on. You got live music going to happen. There's just something about that atmosphere, right? It kind of creates that energy and it starts that energy rolling that you can carry into the weekend, right? And so, yeah, I mean, if you're already planning on coming to this event, come to the whole event, right? Be part of everything to truly get the entire experience that this event is built around, and that is start to finish, parade, opening ceremonies, Parade of Nations into the race weekend, right? So that's Thursday, right? And then we roll from Thursday, we roll into Friday, which is actually event day number 1, right? So let's talk about on site, right? Quickly, we can touch on parking. What should be expected from a parking perspective here?
Yeah. So whether you're using Google, Apple Maps, whatever, if you just put in the name of the venue, there's multiple entrances all over the place. And just to give some idea of the size of this place, our staff, we're staying in the on-site hotel, and from the festival, it is a 25 to 30 minute drive just to the hotel, and we're on site. So in the event day program that's being sent out and on our website, we have the address that we want everybody to use for the front gate. It's going to be the only one that's open to get in. So would definitely recommend putting that address in and coming into the front gate, and then it's only not even a 5-minute drive to the actual festival.
Nice.
But pretty much, starting at the front gate, even all the way to the festival, they have a big LED screen. We're going to have stuff up along the road. It's, we're trying to really set the tone and, the atmosphere early on. This is not like an ordinary event.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, our goal is to, again, we want the experience to be great from start to finish. Right. So parking easy. You feel like you have any concerns potentially with parking around here? I mean, how long of a walk can they expect from parking to festival?
Yeah, it's all the lots are pretty close. Same lots that we've used in years past. We have picked up an additional just in case, but that one's, I don't expect we'll fill all of them up. Even if it rains, the lots should hold up just fine. Nobody should get stuck.
Gotcha.
No
need for shuttles. No need to worry about allowing time for a shuttle, anything like that, right?
No shuttles. And once you get in, especially with the drive you have to the lot, we're expecting there to not be many backups in parking. I think a good rule of thumb is, give yourself at least 2 hours before your heat time to get in, park, warm up, check out the festival, hit the merch tent, really just, feel everything out before you have to, get out on course.
Yeah, and allow for the drive, right? Because if you're not staying right there, again, this is pretty remote, and so if you're staying in Charleston, it's a little bit of a drive. If you're staying in, I think it's Beckley, there's a little bit of a drive, right? So yeah, I mean, again, just allow yourself plenty of time to get there, so that you're not. Again, the worst thing that can happen from a racer perspective is you show up and you're already behind on time, right? Then it just seems to affect how everything goes from that point forward.
Absolutely,
right. So if you had to give your number one pro tip, all right, as an event director for racers to make race morning smooth, what's your number one pro tip?
Ooh, let's see. Well, I think the biggest one would honestly just be give yourself time.
Yeah.
Even from having, raced in my own experience in the past, like one of the biggest things that can mess your whole day up is being behind and coming in late and being rushed, and you're flustered, and it can mess your whole day up. It can mess your whole race up too. And I get another note on parking, because we do offer, there's camping on site as well.
Okay.
So for anyone who's camping on site, we are going to have signage up, because none of the camping is close enough to walk to the festival or parking. Well, it's it's probably about 2 miles, but we will have signage up for you to drive to the parking lot and be able to find it.
So if you're racing on Friday morning, Saturday, or Friday afternoon, Saturday morning, Sunday morning, maybe a good little warm up run, right? If you don't want to drive. So awesome. So let's talk about the other thing that always has the potential for a dramatic impact on our events, right? And that's the weather.
Yeah.
Right. Obviously, we start paying attention to weather as an event director. You start paying attention to weather weeks out, right? Obviously, it's never going to be that accurate that far out, but at least you have an idea on from a planning perspective, because weather impacts aid stations and again potentially impacts parking, potentially impacts how people are getting in and out. So what are we looking at, and what are we thinking weather? How can that make or break your race day?
Yeah. Before we jump into that, anyone who's been at any of our East Coast events, you already know where I'm
I wasn't going to bring it up.
That we've had a lot of weather this year, and we've actually coined a team nickname as the Storm Chasers, because it seems every event we go to, we bring the weather with us.
You've just lost half of your team, your racers in this one moment.
Yeah. But no, actually, on the upside means we're prepared for it. We've seen it, and we're ready to handle anything that's thrown at us. Typically we've seen kind of both sides of the weather at this event in years past. Could be anywhere from highs of 80s to be in the 50s. So right now we're tracking to be not super hot, but not cold either. So definitely hydrate, plan accordingly. But weather-wise, if storms open up, not too worried about parking. Pretty good gravel lots. Should be pretty easy to get in and out. Even their roads there, they all drain. Just the infrastructure here is built to, I think, handle a hurricane. Even in and around festival, there's ditches everywhere. I think
drainage.
We're not super worried about the mud or anything. The only thing that'll really slow us down is lightning.
Yeah, I think as always, right? Come prepared, right? Layers, hydration, nutrition for the longer distances if that's what you've trained for, and it's a lot easier to get there and not need it than to not have it when you get there and realize that you do need it, right? So, and that goes for everything, weather related, nutrition related, just general runner or racer preparation. That's part of what it is, right? So I know this is your first time at the venue, and so I think whether the weather's played a big role in our events here in the past, I think that's the case. There's always going to be those events in those years where it's different year to year, right? It's never, even though we go to a venue year in and year out, right? Just weather alone, it's never the same event year in and year out. I would say, with the exception of probably Colorado Springs, right? We can go into that race. We know exactly what we're expecting and what's going to happen. But aside from that, so it varies year to year, in race to race. So anything unique or special that if you were racing this weekend, you'd make sure you pack, or for this event coming up, that you'd make sure you have in your kit?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing that could really, at least from my own experience, is just bring the nutrition that works best for you. Like you said earlier, over prepare, because if you have it and, don't need it, it's better than needing it and not having it.
Yeah.
So yeah, extra nutrition, socks, shoes,
Yeah. Race like you train.
Yeah.
Right. Don't try something new. So before we wrap this up, a couple more things I wanted to chat about. And one is just some local attractions, right? We kind of talked about Charleston and what's going on there. Anything else we want to call out? I mean, I know you went on a brief site visit to the venue to kind of check things out and really kind of get the planning started. I don't know how much time you had there, but any unique, cool local attractions you want to call people's attention to if they have time they want to get to?
Yeah, absolutely. Just a couple places. And, one of the coolest things about this job is you go to all these different towns and you get to try all these local restaurants.
Amen.
Yeah, I know you love that. So yeah, one of my favorite spots that I went to for lunch was the Secret Sandwich Society. They actually have really cool merch as well, but the sandwiches were incredible. Would highly recommend hitting that. And then for breakfast, go to Tudor's Biscuits.
All right.
I've learned that that's apparently a staple. Like if you go in that area and you don't go there, then like you messed up terribly. Yeah. So got to go there. That should be on the list. And then if you're looking for, a beer after the race, just want to, relax, Pies and Pints would be the spot. Yeah.
And then I think thinking about other things, right, too, I'm always going to go for the food side of things, right? That's my thing everywhere we go. But New River Gorge National Park, right? You're not far away, right? It's not terribly far, right? And what an amazing place that is. Again, not too many places on the East Coast like that, right? I think it's a 15-20 minute drive from the venue, maybe a little longer. But yeah, so if time allows, right, check those out. I mean, listen, everybody's got to eat, right? So you cover the important things first, right? And that is, you've got breakfast, you've got lunch, and you've got potential dinner ready to go for the time that you're there on a day. And then a very awesome and cool national park and a landmark, which is New River Gorge. So definitely some cool spots to hit up there. Hopefully everybody's allowing for some time to do some of the extra activities right in and around the race. So again, if you're going to something this big, like plan to get around and enjoy what they offer as well. Because again, I think, West Virginia's got some amazing attractions as a whole, right? But now we're fixing to take the next attraction to another level. So so let's talk about any unique partners activating here people can look forward to seeing or interacting with when they're in festival.
Yeah. We've got a lot of the ones that are, you guys see it at a lot of our events. Athletic Brewing for the non-alcoholic beer. We've got Rain. Just to kind of go through a list of them. U.S. Border Patrol is going to be on site recruiting. We have a Train with Rocco. It's like a recovery service. So it'll be cold tubs, soak the legs after each day, get ready for the next one. Couple local things. Lionhearts is going to be there. Shocks, the headphones that don't actually go in your ear. So super great for I know we both use those. So if you're running on the road, you can hear cars. Simon Says, another recovery team's going to be there. More Hearts and Scars, Oscar Mike. And then, from West Virginia Department of Tourism, we are going to have a 32-foot Airstream right in the middle of festival. They'll got some tents up, doing a really cool activation.
Nice.
So yeah, looking forward to that. And I think the Airstream is going to be at the opening ceremonies as well. So if you don't see it there, you'll see it on site in West Virginia.
Nice. So I know we've seen a couple newer sponsors at some of our events recently, only because I was the beneficiary of some Mio from some of there. We love Mio with the volunteers. You got anything like that coming?
Yeah, Mio will be there, which is a hydration, like drop you put in water. Yeah, it's pretty good. I've only had a couple of the flavors, but all positive. We are gonna have Sun Butter. It's like a little packet that you use. We have a couple of protein options, protein bars at the finish line. So we're gonna have some really good options as that finisher product whenever you come through.
Awesome.
Before you get your medal and shirt.
Awesome. All right. So I think we've covered a lot, right? We've covered a lot of little details and nuances of the event. So before we wrap this up, what's your message to somebody out there that's going to see this in the next day or so, and they're on the fence about signing up? What's your message to that person?
Yeah. I guess there's kind of two sides of this. If you've never done a Spartan race, I think this would be an awesome one to start off with, even though it is Trifecta Worlds. You can sign up for the open division, but it would really be a opportunity to see like the best of what we have to offer. Really get the full experience. And then, even for seasoned racers, almost the same thing. I mean, you're really going to get to see brand new obstacles, and really just see everything that we have to offer. And for anyone who hasn't, volunteered before, also a really good opportunity to volunteer at an event. We are offering some unique perks because it is Worlds. So, extra race codes. We'd have TWC specific volunteered shirts. Nice. And it's an opportunity to make somebody else's race better by being out there.
I think it's important to stress this, right? So you touched on, if you've not done a race before, you're on the fence about signing up, what better first Spartan race experience than Trifecta World Championships, right? And if you've done races before, whether it's your 10th race or your 100th race, or I'm sure Tom Maming will be here, it'll probably be his 510th race. But again, it's a great experience, right? And again, I know they constantly talk about it, right? So it's on home soil. We're going to see all of those. The volunteer thing is the one I wanted to touch on as well, right? Is again, races and events can't happen without volunteers. You've got to have a good base of volunteers. But when you take a normal race and you add, again, to this level, the Trifecta World Championships, right? The volunteers needed to put on an event of this caliber, right? You need more, right? And again, it really does dictate how the race event and how the weekend goes for everybody, right? So I think you said it, whether you're coming out to race, you're coming out to spectate, or if you're just in the area and you just want to come out and volunteer and be part of an amazing event, what better event to volunteer at, right? You're going to get unique gear. You're going to get, again, some extra perks and swag or whatever it is that they're going to offer for the volunteers for this event that they don't typically offer for other events, right? So what a great opportunity to volunteer and take advantage of some of those offers as well. Plus, I'm sure there's a free race involved and things like that, right? So again, you can still get that in. So if they're going to do that, right, they can go to the website, to the event page.
It's on the
volunteer there now. If you're just going to be there and you think it may be a last minute decision, you'll be able to do that and sign up right on site at the volunteer tent. And so again, there's opportunities, an abundance of opportunities to volunteer at this event, and it would be greatly appreciated for anybody that wants to come out and do that, right? So any last minute or final thoughts for anybody out there that's coming to your event?
Yeah, I mean, we're, the team is a week away from being on the ground. We're, a couple weeks away from the actual event. At this point, everyone who's running it, you've done all the training you can do. So just come out, enjoy it. And, if you see anyone running around in a blue staff shirt or a red volunteer shirt, just, stop and say thank you. It really goes a long way with them.
Yeah, high fives and thank yous are appreciated on the ground, right? The amount of work that goes into these events, whether it's Trifecta World Championships or like, Jersey Ultra Trifecta Weekend or South Carolina Ultra Trifecta Weekend or upstate New York Super Sprint Weekend, the amount of work is intense, right? And it's extremely long days, and the staff loves interacting with the racers and the volunteers and the spectators, right? So yeah, high fives and thanks, and just just words of
Oh, yeah.
encouragement are always appreciated for sure.
Yeah, because I may be the event director, but none of this is possible without the rest of the team.
For sure.
Doing their part.
For sure. All right. So I think we've covered most everything that we wanted to talk about, and I think looking forward to everybody being out there for this event. I will not be there, unfortunately, but I know that it will be well represented from Spartan as a whole. And again, appreciate your time, Adam, with being willing to get on the call and talk through what this event's going to look like. And can't wait to see the feedback as we get into it.
Yeah, thank you. And we're looking forward to it.
All right. Appreciate everybody for joining us. See you soon.